Welcome to the Total Boss Podcast, and I'm your host, Christiano Green, a podcast where we talk about finding fulfillment through self-development, being a leader of your own life, and getting the most out of it as well. Tenacity, originality, talent, authenticity, and being legendary. It's all about living your best life. Hello, all you total bosses out there, and welcome to another episode of the Total Boss Podcast. I am your host, Christiano Green, and I am a relationship coach for gay men, and I teach gay men how to attract and create healthy, passionate, and loving relationships in their life. Now, this week's episode, I'm going to jump in and talk about why I've shifted from being a mindset and transformation coach into a relationship coach. Now, I've been coaching for well over 17 years now, but I've had my own business for the last, 2 years now. And over that time, my career has, evolved, and I've moved into different areas, and it's really dependent on kind of where I've seen things going from my conversations. I speak to hundreds, if not thousands, of gay men every single year. And it's my job to kind of look at what are the patterns, what are the things that these gay men are often struggling with or dealing with or wanting to grow and improve upon in their life. Now, when I first started my career in my own business, I called myself a uniqueness coach because it was my kind of mission to really allow people to, step into their identity and own who they are in a unique way, right? Because a lot of times I find that, especially when it comes to, people in the gay community, we struggle to find our own kind of path. We struggle to find our own direction. And oftentimes we get caught up in trying to follow paths from other people. And oftentimes that kind of leaves us not in a depressed state, which it can, but maybe in a state where we're just kind of not feeling like we're living at our true potential. So I really wanted to focus initially on, helping people with their identity and stepping into that, because obviously for gay men, identity is super important. I mean, it is for everybody, but when you go through such a massive identity crisis when it comes to your own sexuality and having to come out, it's a whole process, right? So for me, I knew that from my own journey and from speaking to a lot of gay men that was a struggle for people, right? The coming out process isn't easy for everyone. It's not cookie cutter. It doesn't go the same way. And that can really have some long lasting effects on it. And obviously sometimes throughout that experience, people struggle to fully own and accept themselves. So that owning and stepping into your identity and your uniqueness has been a difficult thing for a lot of gay men. Now, obviously over time that kind of evolved. And for me, moved into more of the, confidence, really wanting to help improve confidence. So when I was looking at how do I help people's confidence, it was more of I need to work on people's mindset, right? So I stepped into the mindset coaching realm because I knew that if we can get the mindset right, then work through a lot of the trauma, then what will happen is we'll be able to move forward in the direction and help them achieve what they want to have, which in turn will help them with their uniqueness and their identity and really stepping into who they truly are as a gay man, right? As a person, as a human being, first of all. Now, as that evolved, I knew that, mindset was going to take you so far, but it was also that level of transformation and, really needing to help people transform their past traumas into future triumph was something that I thought was really important to me in my own journey of growth and how I got to where I was, but also again from speaking to hundreds of gay men all the time about their own experiences. So I really went out and I learned a lot of skill sets that would allow me to have different techniques in my tool belt so I could help people to transform and actually, like I said, release themselves from the past trauma, heal themselves so they can take a journey of growth. Because when you can put the transformation and the mindset together, you'll find that you'll get more things done and you'll be moving towards what you want instead of away from what you don't want. Because when we move away from what we don't want, it's still there. But when we move towards what we want, we're actually moving in the direction of where we want to be. So it's actually all about, again, about mindset and how you look at it and understanding the mind of gay men so that we could transform them in the way that they really want to be transformed. So that's where my mindset coaching evolved into mindset and transformation. And, along the path, it's very important to kind of figure out, how do I put all of these pieces together, but then focus on what do a lot of gay men want. Now, like I said, I've spoken to hundreds, if not thousands, of gay men over the years. And what I found when I was looking through a lot of my data and a lot of the conversations that I had when I review it all was that there was a lot of loneliness that happens within gay men. And there's a lot of gay men who are longing for a relationship, and, finding love has been difficult. Now, I know from my own personal experience that finding love for me was very, very difficult. I mean, I spent, the first 35 of my years basically single. Yes, did I have some small relationships that only lasted a few months, 3-4 months max? Yes, I did. So do I class them as long-term relationships? Of course not, right? So I never got into something that I felt was ever going to last. So for me, I can relate to a lot of that. Is this ever going to happen to me? What's wrong with me? Why am I unlovable? All of the questions that people go through when it comes to trying to find love. And, I also used to try to lie to myself all the time and tell myself that I was happily single, when in fact, deep down, I really, really wanted a relationship and to feel loved and to love someone else. So, knowing that and going through my own journey and being in a healthy, loving, and passionate relationship has allowed me to go and see what it is that I've always wanted, but also then what were the fundamental things that allowed me to get to that place? What were the things that made me ready for a relationship and attracting a relationship that I really wanted? But then also, how do I create a relationship that is also healthy as well? Because in the gay community, obviously, throughout the process, there's a lot of baggage that happens to people. There's a lot of trauma that happens. And when we don't work through that, oftentimes if we have relationships, we attract the unhealthy relationships. We attract those relationships that maybe aren't built on love. They're built on other things that maybe haven't been helpful to us. And sometimes when we don't know what we don't know, we allow ourselves to go into these relationships and we get stuck in them sometimes because we feel like, this is the only person that's going to love me. And yes, it might have its flaws, but I might as well do this than be alone, right? Now, obviously that's, not healthy, right? And that can really play on a lot of people's, mindsets as well, right? And so obviously from evolving through my career, stepping into being a relationship coach, I had to look at, what were my clients looking for? I've helped 7 of my clients now to get into a place where they are ready for relationships and to find love of their life. And, I had to look at all of that stuff and go, wow, like what was it that actually helped them get to that place? Now, what it was an amalgamation of all the things that I'd done, right? The people that had solid relationships had really stepped into the identity of really owning that in themselves and also owning themselves as a gay man so that they could have a healthy relationship, first of all. So that box was ticked there. The next was mindset. They had the right mindset around finding a healthy relationship. They knew exactly what it was that they were looking for because they'd probably spent a lot of time in their life knowing what it was that they didn't want. So when we understand what we don't want, it's about putting it all together and getting the pieces together so we can say, this is what I want. Because the clearer you are on what you want, the closer you are to attracting it as well. And then the third component was the transformation. We worked on together, them healing themselves from their past traumas, their past hurts, their past pains, their past everything, so they could move forward in the direction without having the baggage. Because again, you have to be a match to what it is that you are wanting to attract. So if you're wanting a healthy, loving, and passionate relationship, then you also have to be someone who can also have a healthy, passionate, and loving relationship with yourself, first of all. Because when you can build that with yourself, all the other relationships around you are going to be a mirror image of that as well. So stepping into and really owning yourself and working on your stuff allows you to attract a healthy relationship because you have to be magnetic to what you want. If there is a misalignment, and there's ego and there's arrogance and there's pain and trauma, you will attract that in a partner. You won't be able to attract a healthy relationship because, again, if you're not healthy, you're not going to attract that because healthy people don't want to get in relationships with unhealthy people, right? It's just clear, right? Think about a solid relationship that you know, and think about is someone there really fucked up and one really healthy? It doesn't work that way. The healthy person who's truly healthy will want to be in a relationship with someone else because they want to stay in that healthy place. They want to focus on that and they want to be happy as well. So really allowing themselves to know what it is that they want, but also working on themselves at the forefront will allow them to be able to, one, have that relationship with themselves so then they can see in their mind's eye the type of person that's truly going to be good for them. Like I said, understanding what they truly want and then actually going out and getting it. Because again, a lot of times we hold ourselves back from doing those things because of fear, because of hurt, because of pain, because of trauma. And if we haven't worked through it, then we're going to continue to go through those same patterns of behavior. So we really need to understand ourselves on a deep level, have a great relationship with ourselves, understand how it takes to put our mindset together so we can go out and get exactly what we want from life, and we can create those relationships, whether it's more than just love relationships that you're looking for. It could be friendships. It could be improving your relationship with your family. It could be in the workplace. It could be in a myriad of different places. Relationships all have the same fundamental agreements when it comes to connection, right? You have to see that when you look at the relationships you have, proximity is power. So the people you hang around with the most are the people you're probably going to be like, right? So you think about this. If you're hanging around people who drink and take a lot of drugs, you're going to be drinking and taking a lot of drugs. You know, it's just normal for you to be doing those things. But if you're hanging around people who are bringing you forward, who are talking about their future, who are moving towards their goals, who are happy, who are fulfilled, who are fortunate and really moving forward, you'll see that you will be doing those things as well. So allowing yourself to work on your relationship really also allows you to see all the other relationships in your life as pivotal and important, and allows you to move in the direction of going for what you want because you continue to work on yourself, which then allows you to heighten your vibration. And we are all built up of energy, right? So we are built up on vibrational energy, and it's important to understand that the energy that you're at is what you will attract around you, friendship-wise, family-wise, relationship-wise with a partner. So if you work on yourself, first of all, and bring up that work, you will see that you will find the love of your life. I've seen it, like I said, time and time again with my clients on what we've done, and the work we've done has allowed them to be ready and committed to actually seeing it. And sometimes the people were right in front of them the whole time, but they weren't able to see that because they weren't on that vibration, or they just weren't looking at them in that way. It's funny what happens when you work on yourself. You start to see how much shifts you make, how much you shift within yourself, and then all your relationships around you will change. So this is why, as you can tell, I'm super passionate about relationships, because I am brilliant at building my own relationship with myself, first of all. But then what happens is, again, I focus on my relationship. I put so much time and effort into the friendships that I have, into my family relationships, into my relationships with my partner, with my colleagues, with my clients, with my team, everything, right? I make the effort to do that because I believe at the core of everything, relationships are everything that you have in life. And if you don't have strong relationships and you have a desire for it, you need to start with the relationship with yourself. So this is why, again, I've stepped into relationship coaching, because I believe there's a fundamental need, especially within the gay community, to help people to own who they are, really, like I said, work on their mindset, transform them from their past person into the future person of who they want to be, so they can attract the right relationships, and then they get more of what they want in their life. So that's a really kind of big overshot as to why I've shifted and evolved my coaching into the relationship sphere. So again, this is passionate for me. This is loving for me. This is healthy for me. And I'm going to be having a lot more of these types of conversations. So as always, I would love to hear your guys' comments, your guys' feedback, where you're at when it comes to your own relationship. Are you looking for one? Are you in one? Are you wanting to improve one? What is it that you're looking more of? Are you looking more for a partner? Are you looking more for friendships? Are you trying to improve your own relationships with your family? Is it that you aren't connecting well to people? Really trying to uncover where you're going wrong is going to help us to uncover where you want to go right. So feedback, comments, shares, anything. You know, I always love hearing from you guys. So comment below, send me a message, or keep the conversation going on Facebook, because again, relationships are the most important thing that we have out there, and it's time for us to step forth, improve them, and let's make it all happen together. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'll catch you all next week. Always remember that you have got this and I've got you.